Good morning. This is my therapy every week. It's my therapy too. Good morning, y'all. Melissa, it's my therapy too. Because I need therapy. I feel like someone else needs to go live today and let me listen. Because I'm in the funk, like big time. Cheryl, I thought you were saying it was your 22nd birthday, like you're only 22 years old. But then I realized you were talking about the 22nd of June. I feel like I need y'all to do a cheer. Go, Judy, because I am in a funk. So, let's see. Yesterday, I was recording. I was trying to film for my Thursday video, and I got stung by a wasp in the middle of me filming the video. And I don't know if y'all can tell, but my wrist is like, let's see. You see, like, I can't do it. You see the difference? My wrist is swelled up from this wasp. And see how you can see I don't know if you can. It freaking hurts. And now it's like it hurts to bend my wrist. I like from a wasp, but it's like, I don't know, you can't really tell on this video. But it's like all swollen and bruised. Like I've got a bruise. Anyway, it hurts so bad. I cannot believe how bad a wasp sting hurts. But I was in the middle of filming, and it wasn't a wasp nest because there was only one. And it just decided to land on, and I was videoing like this when it came and landed on my wrist. And by the time I flicked it off, it had already stung me. So it hurts. I'm being a baby. I am. I'm a whiny butt. But I got a present in the mail. And I already know what it is. And it's from I don't know if I'm going to say her name right. She's on YouTube. I don't see her here. It's Karen Finn, not Karen Fan. It's it's Kathy. Wait, is her name Kathy? I'm sorry, it's Kathy, not Karen. Kathy Finn, Fehn. I don't think she's here. I ain't seen her, but today is the second week that I've not had Coke Zero. Can y'all believe it? Can y'all believe it? But I'm not really sure. So she bought me. She was proud of me for not drinking my Coke Zero. I'm probably gonna break this pen, but but she ordered me this really cute cup. It's purple, but you can put fresh fruit in here to flavor your water. Ooh. See, it has this little thing that goes inside here, so I can put like lemons or strawberries to and shake up my water. And I just thought, she knows my favorite color is purple, and I just thought this was cute. And so this morning I was in the funk, and I was like looking at every morning. Being a nonprofit, I have to write down everything I spend, everything I earn, all this stuff. So every morning I get up and I do my little calculations. I feel like my dad of, what I've spent and so forth. And I was looking at my Amazon to see what I had ordered. And I saw that this was delivered yesterday, so I ran out to the mailbox and I was so excited. But it's called Infusion Pro. So if you have given up your protein shakes for straight vodka, vodka would be really good in this with fresh fruit. Just saying. So thank you, Kelly. No, I keep saying Kelly. What's her name? Kathy. I'm sorry, Kathy. Okay. I've been getting. Kayla has too. We've been getting cards in the mail. Kayla is collecting all her cards, and she's going to do something with them. But for all you people that send cards and stuff, thank you so much. Retha sent Larry some cookies. It's his favorite cookies. She's been sending them to him, and it makes him feel special. So thank you so much. Because of my wife's sting, it hurts to wear my watch. So I will not be counting steps today. And I'm feeling like a red preaching stick today. I feel like it's kind of cheering me up. So I'm going to do red today. All right. Let's, can y'all believe I've given up Coke Zero? I can't believe it. I feel like I am like a superwoman if I could do that, because that was hard. It's still hard. You know, I told you it takes, I think, 21 days to make a habit, and I'm only on day 14. so I'm still in the struggle. You know, when I struggle the most is like when I drive by Zaxby's. My favorite Coke Zeros, it's like they taste different. They're at Zaxby's and Sonic. I'm not a really big Chick-fil-A Coke Zero drinker, but Zaxby's and Sonic, oh my gosh, the best Coke Zeros ever. So that's when I struggle. But I have been lately, when I go to Sonic, because I go to Sonic every day to get a drink, I've been ordering peach mango slushes. And I know that they're sugar-free, but I need to look. I was looking to see, because they're really sweet. Let's see. Hang on. I was going to see if they have calories. Do y'all know? Let's see. Sonic calorie. Because it may not be good for me. Let's see. Nutrition. All right, here's the slushes. Well, wouldn't you know they have everything but peach? Well, anyway, I've got to look it up because I'm like, this has to have sugar in it because it's too sweet. So I'm thinking that the peach and mango are sugar-free, but whatever makes the slush has to have sugar in it. So I don't know if I'm making a good choice, because I would rather have a cupcake than drink calories. That's just me personally. I would much rather have a chocolate chip cookie versus. So I'm not sure if that's what I need to be doing. Okay, taking glasses off so I become blind. So it is hot as Hades in Alabama. Yesterday it was 100 degrees and I was on fire. And sometimes I try to wear shorts, but like yesterday I tried to wear shorts. No, it was the day before. And the stupid flies bite my legs. And I'm like, I can't stand it. So I'd rather just sweat to death. But yesterday I had to go. Yesterday was my last library. I've been to 9 libraries in less than a month. I'm tired. And so it took me an hour and a half to get to Southside Library yesterday. And it was my last one. So my life is fixing to slow down like drastically. But on the way to the library, I was getting text messages from my dad that were a train wreck, a total train wreck. So I was trying to drive on top of calling the nursing home, on top of having animals in the car, trying to get into the zone that I'm fixing to have to perform in front of people. And I was literally struggling yesterday because of all that. And so it makes it difficult when you're trying to deal with multiple things at the same time. And so I have been really in the past 24 hours struggling with like what to do, because basically the nursing home is looking after the best interest of my dad, and he's not understanding. He thinks he's in jail, and he's not stable walking. He's not always wearing his oxygen. He thinks he's wearing his oxygen, but the nursing home and his brother told me he is not. And it's like he's not getting it. So he feels like he's stuck and he's not happy at the nursing home. And he thinks people are being mean to him and they're too strict and all this stuff. And I went out, and he's been upset because he's a big football fan. And he's been upset because he's afraid he's not going to see the Alabama football. So I went out and purchased an iPad, and I was going to download the YouTube TV on it so that he could see the game. And I was all excited about it, took it to the nursing home, only to find out he didn't want, he was like, I can't use that. And I said, it's just like your iPhone. There's no difference. I'll never be able to use it. I said, so you don't want it? I don't want it. And I almost started crying. I almost started crying because I was like, wow, I just went out of my way to go get this $1,400 iPad. And I bought him earbuds for people with hearing impaired. And I put the earbuds in his ears so that he could see. Like when I put them in my ear, I couldn't even hear the neighbor's TV that was so loud. Like that's how great the earbuds were. They totally blocked out all the sound, and it was like in stereo. It was the most awesome sound ever. And I put them in his ears and I said, can you hear this? And he was like, yeah, but he didn't like them. So I brought everything home and almost cried the whole way home. I was like, I just cannot, I don't know what to do. Like I can't, the doctor is saying that he's in the best place that he can be, but he's not quite understanding. So it makes it difficult when you're trying to go to work and you're getting these text messages. I'm in prison. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's hard. And, I'm just trying to balance it all. And I'm like, do I need to go to the nursing home, which I was planning on going Thursday or either Wednesday today to the nursing home. And I thought, well, let me let him process everything, and then I'll revisit the iPad in a couple of weeks and see if I can get him to use it, because I think that if he used it, I think that he would really like it. I just think that he's so in the dumps that he can't see straight. So let's talk about that. That's what we're going to talk about today, because I've been in his shoes. I have been in his shoes where I have been in the dumps so bad that I couldn't swing it. I had no discipline to get myself out of the funk. As a matter of fact, I've always been active because I was an aerobic instructor. And back in 2013, I know this is hard for you to understand, but I had to quit my job. And I told you I was very successful at my job. I mean, I made a lot of money. And I had to quit my job because I couldn't get myself out of the bed. It was awful. And I remember I went on medical leave is what I did. I was at work and I had to go on medical leave for my mental health and take a break. And so I was embarrassed because, a lot of people go on medical leave for surgery or maternity leave, and I'm having to go on medical leave for my mental health because I'm so jacked up. I could not physically make myself get out of the bed. And I can remember like thinking in my head, I'm a loser. I can't swing this. Why can't I get up? Like, what the heck's wrong with me? And I would get myself up because in order to be on medical leave, you have to have a doctor's excuse, right? So I had to force myself to go to counseling and to the doctor because she's the one that put me on medical leave because I was so bad. And she's like, Judy, let's take a break and let's work on you. And I was like, this is so embarrassing because, your coworkers are trying to figure out what's wrong with you. Why is Judy not at work? And I can remember just like being humiliated. But let's back up. So I told you guys when I was a senior in high school, I got so depressed that I tried to take my life and ended up in intensive care with a tube down my throat. And I can remember feeling the same way that I felt in 2013. I remember in high school going, oh my God, I got to go back to school. Like I didn't die. I got to go back and face all these people that I'm some lunatic that has, tried to kill myself. And how embarrassing is that? And, and I can remember trying to face people for the first time and how embarrassing it was because I didn't succeed at killing myself. It was awful. And in 2013, when I went on medical leave, I had that same feeling going, oh my gosh, I have to go. Do I lie and tell my coworkers that I had surgery? Because it's really none of their business why I was on medical leave. But as friends and coworkers, obviously they're concerned about me because I've been off work, right? So they're going to ask questions out of being concerned. But I didn't know how to properly answer the questions. And I would go to therapy and I would go, what do I tell people? What am I supposed to say? And she was like, Judy, it's really none of their business. And I'm like, but I don't know how to say it's none of your business. That's mean, But I can remember I've talked about the red chair before. I had this big oversized red chair that I sat in every single day and cried. And I would force myself because I knew if I didn't go to the doctor, I would lose my job. So I would get myself up and now I did get up in the mornings, get my kids ready for school, take them to school. I took both of them to school every single day. And I would come home and I would get in the bed or I'd sit in the red chair and I was in the funk. And I was just like Larry, where Larry is in this funk and can't get out of it. And he thinks he's in jail and he thinks all this negative. I was the same way. So I could relate to him, understanding how hard it is to change this mindset. Because your brain is the most powerful tool you have. And trying to change your thought process is absolutely almost impossible. It's not impossible. But at the time, you're like, I can't get out of this. I cannot see any light around me. All I see is darkness. I don't feel good. I feel sick. I can't function. And it's almost like when you're in that funk, it's hard for you to explain to people what you're feeling because you're so in the funk that you don't even want to talk. You're like, just everyone leave me alone. Just leave me alone. Get out of my face. I do not want to talk. And it's so difficult to change your mind. And at the time, I have eating disorder. So like when I'm in the funk, like I feel better when I'm eating. So I would put things in my mouth and gorge myself, like with sugar and stuff. And I started gaining weight. And I can remember going to this doctor, back when I forgot what the shot was. Is it a B12? No. I can't remember. There was something, right now it's that popular shot that gives you it's for diabetes and you lose all this weight, the miracle shot, whatever. It was some shot back then. I can't remember. It was in 2013 and you get this shot and it helps you not eat. And I remember being in the funk about, oh gosh, now I've gained all this weight, blah, 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 blah. And I'm also depressed. And I remember going to the doctor and trying to get these shots to lose weight. Because I was like, if I lose weight, I'll feel better. I'll get out of this funk. If I could just get skinny, I can overcome this depression and I can get back to work and it'll solve everything. Because that's how I thought. I thought, well, if I get skinny, it'll all go away. And sometimes that was the truth. Like if I would get real, real skinny, my depression would went away because it would make me hyper. It would make me feel good about myself. And so I went to this doctor and I remember him telling me to exercise. And at this point in my life, I was not teaching aerobics. And I can remember going, I can't. And he was like, okay, let's do this. 1 minute every day. I want you to exercise for 1 minute. And each week, I want you to graduate to 2 minutes. The third week, you graduate to 3 minutes. The fourth week, you graduate to 4. Now, doesn't that sound stupid? What, exercise for 1 minute? But I literally was so depressed that it took so much energy for me to do it for 1 minute. This was a girl that has taught aerobics for 28 years. You see me today. And in that moment, I was like, okay, I've got to exercise this week for 1 minute a day. And I can remember it taking so much energy for me to use it 1 minute of my day to exercise. And what I did, I'd sit in the red chair and I'm like, okay, Judy, you've got to exercise for 1 minute. And I was trying to force myself out of the red chair to exercise for 1 minute. And I would put on music, and all I did was walk from the living room to the dining room and to the kitchen, and it made a circle. And I set my watch for 1 minute. And I can remember being so out of breath because I was running. For one, I couldn't even function. And I was like, this is ridiculous. How did I get in this shape? But I got in that shape because I let depression rule my life. I mean, I totally gave up exercise, eating right, drinking vodka, everything, because of my depression was so bad. I couldn't go to work. I couldn't get out of the bed. I couldn't exercise. I couldn't do what I loved. It was awful. And I literally, I've told you this before, but I would take my kids to school. I literally would go get in the bed or sit in the red chair with no TV on, no blinds open, sitting there bored to death until my kids got off the bus and came home. And then I would try to go, okay, try to pretend like you've not been in the bed all day, Judy, because I was hiding from my family, because if I told them that I had been in the bed all day, they would probably admit me in the hospital, but I was hiding behind my depression. But sometimes I want to sit down my kids and say, do you remember all this? I'm wondering if I hid it so well that to this day, they don't know that I did that. But I do know they know that I would go to bed. I would go to bed between 6, 7 o'clock every night because I couldn't, like, it would kill me because I would get up at like 2:30 because they were getting off the bus at 3 o'clock. And I'd have to be good from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock. And it would wear me out for pretending like nothing was wrong with me. And I would be so exhausted that I would literally sit in the chair and I'd try to watch movies or TV with my family, with my kids and my husband. And I couldn't. I would fall asleep in the red chair. And many a times they would have popcorn parties and I would have to go to bed because I could not stay awake. And it was awful, but I can remember trying to force myself to do things that I could not do. And I remember how difficult it was to be in that situation and pretend like I'm okay. So like where I sit here and watch, my dad text me while I'm trying to go to work. I'm in prison. They won't let me do this. Da, 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 and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I remember being that way. So many times when we don't understand other people, like our friends or our family, we don't understand them. You've got to stop and figure out how you can relate to them. Because although I have not been in Larry's shoes, I've not been in the nursing home. I don't know what it's like to to be there. I have to get in his shoes and feel his pain, feel what he's feeling, so that I can relate to him and be more sensitive about the subject. Because a lot of times when we don't understand other people, we're not sensitive to them. We just we begin to criticize like example, I hate to bring up this subject, but like people that are gay. If you've not been in their shoes, you start judging them. You start screaming, you're going to hell. You start screaming, oh my God, that's disgusting. Oh my gosh, they're making me sick. I can't even sit here and eat in a restaurant because I'm looking at these two guys. Ugh, that's so disgusting. But if you can stop for just a minute and not be judgmental and go, let me get in their shoes for just a minute. I don't know what it's like to feel the way they feel. If you stop yourself and go, how can I relate to them? How can I be more sensitive to how they feel? And try to figure out how you can relate to them. Because like with Larry, I was so frustrated yesterday. I was like, God dang, I'm trying to go to work. I'm trying to drive down the road. I'm late. And you're texting me that you're in jail. And I am trying to make the best decisions for your health. I felt chaos. But then I had to stop myself and go, okay, stop, Judy. Get in his shoes for just a minute. And the minute that I was able to stop myself from being so yucky, I was able to go, oh yeah, I remember going into rehab and feeling like I was in prison. And I was surrounded by all these drug addicts, these people that were schizophrenic, and they were not like me. And I remember feeling like I was in jail. And I can remember feeling scared. I can remember trying to sleep with one eye open because I was scared someone was going to come in my bedroom. I remember all that. As a matter of fact, when I was in high school and I tried to kill myself and went into Montclair Hospital, locked up in a lockdown unit, that was fun. I can remember sitting in my bedroom and all this commotion went on to the person beside me. And I didn't know what was going on. Well, come to find out, this young girl that was younger than me was trying to jump out the window. I'm like, why am I here? Like, there's crazy people here. Like, I could remember being scared. So I could stop myself from all the chaos of feeling like I'm in a hurry and I'm trying to work and you're texting me this. I had to stop myself and go, Oh, yeah, I remember being scared. I can remember feeling like I don't belong here. I'm not like these people. I'm not about to try to jump out of a window. Like, I'm not that crazy. You know what I'm saying? I can remember being scared, so I could relate to how he felt. And when I was able to relate to how he felt, I was more sensitive about the subject, and I could slow my brain down and go, I know what you feel like. And I know what it feels like to not feel like exercising and lay in the bed all day, because that's what he does. And I know what he feels like. And I can remember it being so difficult to try to exercise for 1 minute a week. I know what it feels like. It sucks. I'm not getting ready. I'm preaching. So many times, again, when you find yourself not understanding other people's situations, going, she don't help herself. She literally does nothing. She doesn't eat right. She doesn't take her medicine. She does nothing. She does nothing to help herself. Why is my calendar going off? Oh. Stop, take a breath, and try to get in their shoes. Instead of being judgmental and getting yourself all worked up, stop yourself and try to get in their shoes. Oh shoot, my oh wait, my iPad's about to die. Oh Lord, wait, please don't die. Oh shoot, that's not the charger. Hang on. Oh Lord, struggle bus. What did I do with the charger? You see it? I got 400 chargers around here that doesn't fit my iPad. Hang on, it may be in the living room. It's in the living room. Okay. So many times it's hard for you to listen to other people and not understand. But when you stop and you get yourself where you go, how can, like with me talking today, maybe you haven't tried to kill yourself, or maybe you don't fight depression, or maybe you don't have a loved one in the nursing home. So you're like, I can't relate to her. But stop yourself, because some way you can relate to how I feel, whether it's through an eating disorder, or you can't get your butt off the couch, or you can't exercise, or you sleep all the time, or you have depression. There's some way you can relate to what I'm saying. It may not be the same situation that I'm going through, but somehow, some way you can relate to me. So that's what you have to do when you listen to me talk, because it may not be the same situation, but you get me. I know we've all been through situations where, we may not understand what our loved one's going through. But if you learn to stop and get in the other person's shoes for just a minute, you can, it's just like, I hate to go back to the gay thing, but like, let's just stop and think about it. You're at a restaurant, you see two gay guys, okay? You're sitting there and you're homophobic, okay? Let's just say you're like, oh my God, that's disgusting. That's disgusting. But if you could sit there when you leave the restaurant, when you're laying in the bed, and you think about those two people, think for just a minute how they feel. I sit here and think about, now this is my opinion. I feel like my mom's sister was married her whole life, and she left her husband for a woman. And when that happened, we were all like, "What the?" Because she wasn't gay, and I was like, we used to call her. The lady's name was Vivian that she was with, and we called her Aunt Helen and Uncle Vivian. Like, we were like, "What the crap is Aunt Helen doing? Why did she leave Uncle Alan for a freaking woman?" I mean, we were all like in shock. Now, my aunt, I never saw that coming, ever. She doesn't fit the part of being a lesbian at all. She just none of us saw it coming. But there's times, like, there's this kid. I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking about, but there's a kid on social media that's a dancer, and he's not, but I don't know. He's probably, that did not curl good. He's probably 8 years old. And when you look at him and you listen to him talk and you watch him, you see the characteristics of feminine. He's feminine. So in your head, you're like, "Oh, he's gay. He's going to be gay." And he's 8 years old. So, like, there's some people that I feel like are born with those characteristics and they literally can't help who they are or who they're attracted to. But like my Aunt Helen, I don't feel like that. I feel like she made a choice to be gay. She made the choice because she had been with my Uncle Alan her whole life. So, like, obviously, but my Aunt Helen was the type that she was a little bit wild and she liked to try new things and she was out there. But with some people, I feel like it's not so much a choice. It's they were born with the characteristic of being feminine or being manly and being attracted to the opposite sex. They've been attracted to the opposite sex since they were born. So if we can stop ourselves instead of going, "Ew, there's two guys together," and making funny jokes, if we could stop and say, "Let me get in their shoes for just a minute. Let me get in their shoes for just a minute." Can you imagine the pain that they go through from the judgment they get from other people? And in their head, they're like, can you imagine being attracted to the opposite sex and being told it's wrong and being told you're going to hell, but you have these strong feelings for the same sex? Can you imagine how jacked up your brain is? Can you imagine for just a second? Like, that's what I mean when I tell you to get in other people's shoes for just a minute before you start judging and before you start being a know-it-all. Because so many times we think we know it all. But just feeling other people's pain and being sensitive to what they're going through. Because yesterday, when I was driving down the road and I was getting all these crazy text messages, I was like, I'm about to lose my brain. I'm about to lose my brain. I'm trying to go to work and I get all these text messages. And I had to stop as I was driving down the road and go, "Okay, can you relate to him?" And I was like, I can. I know what it's like to go in someplace and feel like you're in jail. I've been there. I've been there multiple times. I know what it feels like. You know what? But when you're in the rut, in the funk, trying to force changes in your head, how do you get there? How can you make your mind stronger than your body? How do you force yourself to get off the couch? Or how do you force yourself to get off the bed? Or how do you force yourself to change your brain process to go, oh my gosh, I've got to do this? This is me personally. It's discipline. And oftentimes, to keep myself disciplined, I have to force myself to do things I don't want to do. Example, I don't care that I drink Coke Zeros. Like, I'm like, if it's the worst thing I do, oh my gosh, really? But I gave up Coke Zeros for discipline because I have to exercise my discipline. Because if I don't, I'm going to find myself stuck somewhere, a nursing home, and have no tools in my pocket to pull out for survival. So oftentimes I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to put my hair in a ponytail. Oftentimes I go take something away that I love. I don't care that I drink Coke Zeros, to be honest. It's not that big of a deal to me. Why am I doing it? I'm doing it for discipline. I'm like, okay, I need to make sure that I have enough control of myself that I can give up anything. I can give up sugar. I can give up Coke Zeros. I can force myself to exercise. I have to keep my brain strong, and I have to constantly put tools in my pocket because I don't want to be someone that can't find good in their life when they're in a bad situation. So I, to this day, force myself to do things that I don't really want to do. You know, Shane laughs at me because I'm obsessed with walking. I'm obsessed with walking 10,000 steps a day. I'm obsessed with, okay, I'm not obsessed with it. I just do it. I check my watch to make sure that I am walking 10,000 steps a day. Why? Why do I do that? Simply for my future. Because I know in my head, the second I sit on the couch and give up and watch TV all day long, I'm going to be Larry. So I'm like, what do I need to do and what tools do I need to put in my pocket? Because it's just like Sneed's Farmhouse. I tell you all the time, I could lose Sneed's Farmhouse today, and would I be okay? God may take every bit of Sneed's Farmhouse social media. He may take every bit of this away from me. And would I trust and be okay? I think I would. I think that God has proven to me that He is in control of my life, that I would trust that there's something better in store for me, or He needs to use me somewhere else to spread His goodness. Would I be depressed or sad? Yeah. I can't imagine losing my farm, or I can't imagine losing social media and spreading His goodness. I would be sad, but I know in my head that I have enough tools in my pocket and enough discipline to be okay. Because I'm going to tell you, oftentimes in the past 5 years that I've been living in Coleman, I cannot tell you how many times Shane has come home and said, I want to move back to the beach, or I want to move to Green Acres. Like, that's Shane. And I have to be prepared to give everything up. And it feels uneasy. Like, it scares me because I don't want to give it up. But am I gonna be faithful if it all goes away? The only way I can be faithful is to have a relationship with God and to know that He's in control of my life and have enough tools in my pocket to be okay. Because the last thing I want to do is be where I was in high school or where I was in 2013, where I couldn't function and I had to take 1 minute by 1 minute a day just to get through the day. I never want to be in those. So, what do I have to do not to go back there? The only thing that I can do not to go back there is consistently keep myself disciplined and give up things that, like, I never thought I could give up a Coke Zero. So I had to go prove to myself that I could do it. Seems silly, doesn't it? It seems silly, but it is part of keeping yourself in balance. Is your mind strong enough than your cravings? Can you force yourself to do something that you don't really want to do? And I have proven to myself that I can do it. I can do anything that I set my mind to. And this discipline came from, I never want to go back to where I was. How do I keep myself in check? I think about my parents, and sometimes I feel really mad at my mom and dad. Larry's my stepdad. I feel really mad. I feel mad because, you can live with diabetes. You can live with diabetes. But by God, it takes a lot of discipline to live with diabetes. Because you having to sit it out and not eat cake when there's birthday parties and holidays and all this stuff. You have to be the person on the sidelines that go, I'll just take some sugar-free pudding. Oh, there's chocolate fudge cake. Well, I'll just take sugar-free pudding. Can you imagine what a diabetic go through? Constantly having to watch your carbs and all this stuff. It takes discipline, but you can live with diabetes. And my mom she didn't have the discipline to eat right. She hated to exercise. She literally hated it. Where I love it, she hated it. And I feel mad at her because she wasn't disciplined enough to take care of herself. My mom just quit taking her medicine. She did stupid crap. She would not take her medicine on time. She would skip pills. She would decide she's not doing insulin no more. And she got to where she was because she didn't take care of herself. I feel bad about talking about her because she's not here to defend herself, but I feel frustrated. And, same thing with my dad. My dad was an alcoholic his whole life. He was a workaholic, and he smoked, and he died of lung cancer. And I feel mad at him. And I've had to come to acceptance with both of them to let go of this anger that I have because their life was taken so young because of decisions they made in life. I feel mad. But neither one of my parents had enough discipline to give it up. So going through that as a child, I've sat and watched this. Of my parents not having enough discipline to give up alcohol, not enough discipline to eat right and exercise. And I'm like, okay, what do I need to do to take care of myself? Because they're a prime example of not what I don't want to be like. And seeing Larry not have tools in his pocket to get through the nursing home, to realize he's in a safe place. He don't have tools in his pocket to be okay. And I am constantly figuring out how to get tools in my pocket to survive. How do I stay disciplined? because discipline is the key. Even with your relationship with God, discipline is the key, because in order to have a relationship with someone, you have to work at it every single day. You have to call the person, you have to write the person, you have to stay in contact, care about the person. It takes effort to have a friendship. It takes effort to have a relationship with God. You have to talk to him. You have to read his word. You have to listen to, preaching and things like that. You have to be disciplined. Discipline is the key. Without discipline, you're not going to make it in this world. And again, what is it going to take for you to stay disciplined? It takes effort. It sucks. It literally sucks. I hate going without a Coke Zero. I'm going to tell you, I do. I'm like, this is stupid. But I'm doing it. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to discipline myself so that I know that I can do anything that I set my mind to. I can. And you need to do the same thing. I don't know if you need to give up something to make yourself disciplined, but you need to do it. If I could freaking give up Coke Zeros and go to vodka, you can too. You can too. But you have to make up your mind, do you care enough? Because, honestly, I don't really care that I was drinking Coke Zeros. I know it wasn't the most healthiest thing for me, but I'm like, oh my gosh, if this is the worst thing I do, I'm fine. You know what I mean? But I'm doing it because I'm trying to keep myself in line to know that I can do anything that I set my mind to. You get me? Am I making sense? I hope that I am. And I'm going to tell you something. Coming here on Mondays and Wednesdays is discipline too, because we have to get up and make effort to listen to Judy blabbermouth. It's effort. It's discipline. Not everyone, I don't have really a lot of people that watch my lives. Not really. Maybe 1,000. There's 120 people here right now. That's not a lot. If you go watch other channels, they have like hundreds of people. I don't. Because you know why? It takes discipline to get your butt up in the morning. It does. And, there was a time in my life where I wasn't a morning person. And pretty much Shane and his crazy self has forced me to be a morning person, and the chickens did. Because you got to go let the chickens out, and you got to go do animals. And Shane don't know what the crap he's doing. And those are my chickens, and he ain't taking care of my chickens. I am, So force yourself. I know a lot of you are retired and you're like, I can sleep late. I'm retired. I can do whatever the flip I want to do. But I'm going to tell you something. Routine is important. Routine is going to get you, you're going to stay in line with a routine. So if you're here this morning, you need to discipline yourself and come here next Monday, because routine is part of discipline. Maybe you're like not there and you're like, I'm not giving up Cokes. I am not doing it. Don't give up something else. Give up something to discipline yourself. Because I'm going to tell you something. As you get older, if you don't have tools in your pocket, because life changes as you get older. Your health changes. Your looks change. You start getting gray hair. You start getting wrinkles. You can't go as much. Your back hurts. You don't feel good. You don't have any energy. A lot changes as you get older. And if you do not have discipline and the right tools in your pocket, you're going to be sitting in a nursing home feeling like you're in prison. Or you're going to be sitting on the couch going, I can't get off this daggum couch to go to the grocery store. I can't do it. I can't force myself to do things because I'm tired. You're tired because you're not in a routine of exercise. You're giving up on yourself when you stop exercising. Get in a routine of going to the. I tell you to go feed the ducks all the time, right? I tell you that all these domesticated ducks that are out in the park, I'm a big advocate about feeding them. Go get in a routine of feeding the ducks. Go walk. Walking ain't gonna kill you. You got bad feet? Well, go get a bike. Go do something. Go crochet. Do something. Do something to keep yourself active. Because if you don't, you're going to be in trouble because you're not getting any younger. You're going to get older. And if you're a young person watching me, you're in your 30s, or you're like, oh, yeah, it's going to catch up with you. So you better learn discipline right now. Because if you don't, you're going to find yourself in trouble. You really are. And if you fight depression or anxiety, I'm telling you right this minute, you need to listen to your Aunt Judy. You need to go find a therapist. Someone that can help you. Because living a life of depression and anxiety, it sucks. And it's going to be in the way of you being the best version of yourself. Whatever it is that you're addicted to, or whatever it is that holds you back, if you don't go get help for that, whether it's an eating disorder, alcohol, drugs, can't get off the couch, whatever is in the way of you being the best version of yourself, you need to stop what you're doing today and go get help for it. And you go, I can't afford it. Listen, there is a lot of different places that you can go to get help without paying a copay. You got to make up your mind. Is it, you know how you'd fight for your kids? Go fight for yourself. What is it going to take for you to be the best version of yourself? What is it going to take? And you never can stop working at it. It's something that you have to work at every single day. Yes, you're going to have, like, people talk about, like Weight Watchers. Yes, you're going to have to count calories the rest of your life. Get over it. We all do. We all do. In order to stay the best version of yourself, like physically, yes, you're going to have to exercise, drink your vodka, and go count calories or whatever you do. A freaking shot ain't going to get it. You can't take that shot the rest of your life. And that's what you have to ask yourself. Before you start anything, can I do this the rest of my life? Can I? If the answer is no, then that's probably not the right answer. Like, I feel like Weight Watchers is something that you can do the rest of your life. Because it's not a quick fix. Now, did I do it? No. Because when it comes to eating right, I am a train wreck, and it's something that I have to work out every day, and it's something that I start over every day. Like, okay, today's the day. I'm going to eat right. I'm not eating cookies and ice cream. And then, dadgummit, I screw up. But you just got to keep starting over. Keep starting over. And finally, you'll have enough discipline. You have to ask yourself, what is it going to take? Because this is in the way. This is what drives me. This is what consumes my brain every single day. Worrying about my kids. Worrying about my kids consumes me every single day. Well, then you need to go find a hobby and get out of your kids' business. whatever consumes your mind and keeps you from smiling and being the best version of yourself needs to get out of the way. Don't know what that looks like for you because we're all different, but you'll be so happy the second you get out of other people's business, including your kids. You'll be so happy. But we can't fix other people. Like, I can't. It's almost like it's too late for me to teach Larry to put tools in his pocket. It's too late. I can't do it. I can't fix him. I can't make him figure out how to be happy. I have to worry about Judy and being the best person I can be, because I can't change other people. They have to change themselves. I can only fix me. No matter how much I preach, no matter how much I try to cheerlead and cheer them on, no matter what I do, I can't fix you. And I can, when you message me and you talk to me, I can't fix you. First of all, I'm not a counselor and I'm not a doctor. I'm just an aunt. I'm Aunt Judy. I can't fix you. Now, I love hearing your success stories. I can't guide you in the right direction, and I can't. All I can do is tell you about me and how I got to where I am today. And maybe something will click in your mind to get you where you need to go. Because sometimes listening to other people, like, you might sit there and go, wow, she's so disciplined. I wish I could give up Coke Zero, or I wish I could give up this. I can't do it. Oh, that's BS. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You just got to make up your mind. And you need support. The only way to make up your mind, you have to have support. If I didn't have you, I couldn't do this. I can't do this alone. I'm not a vodka drinker. There's no way I could have done this without y'all. There's no way. There's no way. But I know that there's 83,000 people on Facebook and 23,000 people on YouTube watching me do this. And I'm like, I have to be strong, because if I'm weak, they're going to be weak. But if I'm strong, you'll strive to be strong. And that's how I feel. And I'm not getting any younger. Who is calling me? Coleman, Alabama. I don't know. Okay, I hope that I said things that make sense to you. I hope in some way that you can relate to me. And I hope when you have choices to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's hard to have discipline, but at the end of the day, when you did it, you're smiling at yourself. And that's called being the best version of yourself. So today, when you have choices to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. I will see y'all Monday. I love y'all. Bye.